Does this look right? Yes, a little to the right. All right. Hey, listen to this. Moses took some of the blood and put it on Aaron and his son's right earlobe. Right. And on the thumb of their right hand. Right. And on the big toe of their right foot. Right. Moses then splashed the rest of the blood around on the altar. All right. Well, we know why blood is applied to the altar. It's been cleansed and purified. But why is blood applied to priests? Are they being cleansed? You could be right. But why only one ear? Was only one earlobe unclean? Did they have one clean toe and one unclean? Often in the Bible, the right hand symbolizes strength and power, like the song they sing right back in Genesis 15 after being rescued from Egypt. It says, "Your right hand, O Lord, is majestic in power. Your right hand smashes the enemy. You raised your right hand, and the earth swallowed the enemy." Right. Or Isaiah talks about God's power to protect. "I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will hold you up with my righteous right hand." And Psalm 18 says, "Your right hand has held me up." So if I'm understanding you right, a right hand might symbolize power to save and protect. Yeah, that's right. But there's more. When Jacob blesses Joseph's sons, he crosses his hands over, and the greater blessing comes through his right hand. And in the parable of the sheep and goats, the sheep go on the right hand and the goats on the left. Okay, let's see if I've got this right. A right hand can convey favor and blessing. That's right, but there's more. The Bible talks about a place of power and authority at God's right hand. David says, "Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool." And Jesus sits at God's right hand. That's right. So if the right side is the place of honor, did priests get the right thigh to eat because this marked them as favored and honored? You could be right about that. We've talked about right hands and thighs, but what about the right earlobe? Well, the Bible doesn't explicitly tell us, but we're not left entirely in the dark. So Abraham ibn Ezra, a Jewish rabbi, says the ear is to attend to what has been commanded by God. And this makes sense because good Jews would recite the Shema daily. And it's called the Shema because Shema means to hear or to listen and obey. And the Shema begins, "Hear, O Israel." Right. Okay. What about thumbs? So Ibn Ezra and Philo of Alexandria both suggest that the hand represents action and that the thumb is the origin of all activity. So a purified thumb shows a desire to perform pure deeds and pure action. Rightio then. What about toes? According to Philo, the foot represents the journey of life. So it's possible that the purified big toe signifies the priest's life conduct must be holy and pure, which makes sense because the Bible talks about your walk as your life direction, your life choices, like Enoch and Noah, who walked with God. If I'm hearing you right, we've got purified priests who are hearing, doing, and walking in God's ways. That's right, but it's true for us too. John says, "But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus, his son, purifies us from all sin." Jesus' blood purifies us, but which bits? Our whole body? If a priest's ear, thumbs, and toes are purified, could we say priests are being cleansed from head to toe? That sounds right to me. The priests are being consecrated, so it could be that their whole body, their entire being, is dedicated to divine service. Yeah, right. Right. But in Leviticus 14, someone recovering from a skin disease also receives blood to their right ear, right thumb, and right big toe. So it's not purely priestly practice. Right, but blood represents life. So perhaps someone recovering from a deadly skin disease was moving from death to life. Well, that's partly right, but Leviticus tells us what's happening. About 14 times it mentions the one to be cleansed. And verse 20 says, "Thus the priest shall make atonement for him, and he will be clean." Is being cleansed about being covered in life? Well, it's about being connected to the God of life. So this person who had been living outside the camp can now move back into the camp, moving from death to life. Same with the priests. They were also moving in from common to holy, from outside the tent in towards holy space and God's life-giving presence. Yeah, right.